Welcome to the Human Nature Channel. I'm your host, Alex mtamsula, also known as Daddy Baby on Twitter. And what am I doing here besides shooting for my 10 minutes worth of na. Last week when I was up at the farm, I told Dad I make videos so I have something to watch while I'm eating. And he thought that was funny. And I showed him one of my recent videos, right? And he's looking at it and he's like, wow, you sit awfully close to the camera. Can you sit further back? Yeah, I think I could do that. Hi, Dad! But the real reason I'm here is to announce the return of Irv. Back by popular demand, Irv was nice enough to drop by the studio and pay us a visit. How you doing, Irv? Irv says, how come I'm not in the movie? Irv, any scenes you and I did together, I wasn't talking about S.I. Hayakawa. It kind of ended up on the cutting room floor, so to speak. Irv says he wants a percentage of the movie's profits. Irv, you can have as much of zero as you can carry to the bank. Irv says he wouldn't want to see anything bad happen to me. Now I know why he carries that cup around all the time. But I did finish and upload my 97-minute documentary, S.I. Hayakawa, the movie. Very pleased with the way it turned out. Since I restarted this YouTube channel in mid-February, I've generated something like 200 minutes worth of video, and it was very easy to pick out 97 minutes of fun stuff and put it together and upload it and put it out there for you to see. I can now add documentary filmmaker to my resume. Is there anything in here? So at long last, we have arrived at chapter 1 of Language in Thought and Action. The chapter is titled Language in Survival. In this particular context, survival is the opposite of extinction. S.I. Hayakawa was not an alarmist, but in his quiet way, he was saying that when it comes to language and survival, the stakes could not be higher. To drive the point home, I'm going to do something a little odd. Don't laugh. I'm going to talk about the end of chapter 1 and work backwards towards the beginning. But before I do, I have to define two words. The first word is interspecific, which means between animal species. The frame SI is using is conflict and struggle. So imagine a jaguar chasing an antelope, or you stepping on a bug. The second word is intraspecific, which means within a species, and again using SI's frame, he's talking about us stepping on each other. The spirit of SI's endeavor is summed up very nicely in the last paragraph of the first chapter, which I'm going to read to you. It will be the basic assumption of this book that widespread intraspecific cooperation through the use of language is the fundamental mechanism of human survival. A parallel assumption will be that when the use of language results, as it often does, in the creation or aggravation of disagreements and conflicts, there is something linguistically wrong with the speaker, the listener, or both. Human fitness to survival requires the ability to talk, write, listen, and read in ways that increase the chances for you and fellow members of the species to survive together. That's a pretty tall order. Now, back in December when I read that paragraph, I remember asking myself, gee, would S.I. Hayakawa have approved of Donald Trump's use of language? Now, I think that is a very interesting question. It's actually going to be a lot more complicated as you find out more about S.I. But I'm imagining taking S.I. from 1990 when he worked on the final edition of that book and bringing him here today, and he sticks by his principles. So he's watching Trump, and he's going, I'm just seeing more of argument culture. He might have said that. The news media asks stupid questions. Trump gets annoyed with him. He gives him snarky answers. He lets him know that he doesn't have any respect for him at all. They get mad. They start going, boo-hoo, but they mention a free press in the Constitution. Why are you talking to us like this? And Trump's like, I don't care. So it's... S.I. Hayakawa would probably ask, where's the cooperation that is the fundamental use of language to help humans survive? He probably wouldn't see it. He might say, at the best, that sort of thing, we're spinning our wheels. At the worst, we're killing ourselves. All right? As we move towards the beginning of the chapter, we encounter a phrase that I always found very, very interesting. S.I. Hayakawa describes the linguistic environment that we live in as a Niagara of words. Think about it. Language is all around us. You know, TV, social media, whatever you're listening to, magazines. And he used the word Niagara back in 1990, and let me tell you something. I've been to Niagara Falls. It's big, but if we jump from 1990 to 2021 and we look at our linguistic environment, I might even go as far as to say Niagara is something of an understatement. No, it's more like we're treading water in an ocean of language and just barely keeping our heads above it all. S.I. talks about how this verbal environment, this linguistic environment, shapes unconscious assumptions. Okay? And if you look into, the neurology of the brain, the structure of the mind, how it's all put together, you come across these automatic processes that are going on all the time and you're not even aware of them. If you sit down and think, you go, yes, my life is governed by habits. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So we are kind of on autopilot all of the time, and it works hand in hand with these unconscious assumptions as we go through life. And life is basically a gigantic guessing game anyway. We're always guessing whether that's the right decision, or that's the right decision, or that's the right purchase, or that's the right mate. It's serious business, okay? We don't realize how vulnerable we are to just a lot of stuff thrown our way. And I will pick up on that when I get up to the farm later today. Have a good one.
I want my money.